Hello, welcome to NurseWorks in association with Tropical Pine Tree. Today I will be giving you the secrets to nursing success. One day at the end of my shift, a very capable nurse called me aside, and this is what she told me. Today is my last day, as you already know. I'm retiring. Do you want to know how I managed to stay afloat all these years? Well, I have a secret, and I've never told anyone. But you've been a friend, and I will tell you. The secret is to never ask the same question twice. Get the correct scoop, write it down, and it will save you a lot of grief and time. She pulled out a battered book from her pocket, and she opened it. Each page had information that I quickly copied down. From that day on, I used her system. I am now going to show you a very basic book which you can make into your own. One caution, remember HIPAA, don't write anything down that would identify a patient or a person who works with you. If you have any confidential information to your unit, you should keep this information on your unit, or make two different books, one that you can take with you that has absolutely nothing but procedures and things that will jog your memory, and one book that has things that will be more confidential to your unit. So what she had was an address book, alphabetical reference. It's be unique to your needs. You might be working on a medical floor or hospice or in a neurological floor. Each floor is going to have different needs and different procedures. You're going to want to keep track of frequent phone numbers or extensions, procedural notes, how you do a certain procedure, what you need to have. She used replaceable sheets in hers. I found that to be very difficult to use, and I just use a regular small address book. So here we go. Like I say, I'm not putting in any numbers or anything identifying in here. Under ambulance, if I'm not in a hospital, I would write the different ambulances my facility would deal with. I also wrote down different antibiotics really look the same, and you want to make sure that you don't pull the wrong ones, and I made sure that I wrote down things that were very close. Ammonia, sometimes in my facility they called it HNG, and at first it confused me. Also, I wrote down the bed alarms and their codes. If you were on the pediatrics floor, you might want to know how to use the systems they use on the wristband. BMP, what's in a BMP? Well, here's my list. If a doctor ordered a sodium and he ordered a BMP, I would only use one lab, and this way I would know for sure that I'm not repeating a lab. Also, BUN is in a CMP. I didn't know that at first. When I worked in the hospital, one thing that I did a lot was assist in bone marrow aspiration and biopsy. And so I made a little list of items I need to bring into the room, things that I needed to check before and do during the procedure. And so this is just one thing that really came in very handy for me. Computer things that I needed to know how to do. Census we did at night, so how to do that. I also found it important to be able to tell exactly Celsius to Fahrenheit. More charting things that I would want to know. I put down doctor's numbers. Here again, I'm not going to be giving you information who the doctor was or what their number was, but I put some doctors partially in so you could tell that it was something that I included in my notes. Again, a lot with labs, what labs were considered in which. CBC has a lot of different things it looks for. CMP also does. And I just wanted to have an idea. Also on my unit, in one of the facilities I worked with, there was a problem with colostomy supplies never being there and nobody ever knowing what size or what SKU number to order. And so I made sure I wrote those down so I would always be on the up and up with that. Also, discharge was a good thing to know. One thing that seemed to happen quite a lot in a nursing home that I worked in was cataract surgery, and what was the exact schedule that needed to be done, which medicines needed to be given at what time, so you could always make sure that you gave the right thing at the right time. Also, if you were going to send somebody to the hospital, what things you needed to get ready to send them. Some of the hospitals we dealt with, and some other things that interest me and I needed to know at that time. I also wanted to have a insulin chart so I knew the different types of insulins that my facility worked with and their onset, peak, and duration. And so you can see here I did quite a lot of things in order to make sure I could just quick look at things and have the answers. You also want to have a page for your facility, different phone numbers and faxes and people that you need to contact. Again, some charting things on our computer. And sometimes in the middle of the night when you would get a chest x-ray back, finding out this person possibly had pneumonia, and you did all the things that you needed to assess, you call the doctor. They may be groggy, and you would want to make sure that you could remind them which things to ask for, prednisone, Z-Pak, Duoneb, and that way you make sure they got everything they needed. What I do for pre-op. If the phones went down, they had a special way to turn them back on. Here's Santal. I wanted to know how to apply it because I had never done it until I gotten into that facility. Banco, I was interested in that. I needed to know what the peak and trough levels were. I also wanted to know the different dressings that you can apply to a wound and what their actions were, whether it added moisture or took moisture away. I went on to even tell more about wound terminology because it was a big important part in charting. And you know, if you don't chart something correctly, then it's a good chance that things will not be attended to correctly from either the next shift or the physician that comes in. And that's the notes that I gave you, a very basic set of notes. You can put down whatever you need. When I worked in a hospital, I had much different notes than when I worked into a nursing home. Every time my notes, my little notebook was different than the last. But if you can save time and don't have to come up and ask a peer, what do I do again? I haven't done this in like 2 months. What do I need to bring for this procedure? You can just look it up and you'll have it. It'll save you tons of time. Please visit us at tropicalpinetree.com. We are here to help support you and give you information. Please like us and subscribe. Also, consider becoming a supporter through Patreon. You will find that on our website, again, tropicalpinetree.com.